Question 51. The scatter plot shows the relation between the distance that students travel to get to school and the number of times those students were tardy during the school year. So we're comparing how far away a student lives from school and how many tardies they have. Okay. The principal of the school wants to use this information to help them determine if there's a correlation between distance traveled and the number of times tardy. Which statement is a reasonable conclusion that the principal could make? Okay. So, most important thing is recognizing that what we have here is a scatter plot. So when you're thinking about scatter plot, you should be thinking of either a positive correlation, which means as x increases, y increases. This is an example where you have the scatter plot going in this direction. It's rising up. You have a negative correlation. As x increases, y decreases. This would be an example where you have a graph, a scatter plot that's trending in this direction. It's falling down. You also have undefined correlation, which means that there's some kind of a pattern. You can see some kind of a shape, some kind of a trend happening, but it's not clearly positive or negative. Some pattern, but not positive or negative. And that's why we call it undefined. We can't define it as positive or negative, so it's undefined. Finally, there's no correlation, meaning there is no pattern. So let's go back up and look at our scatter plot. Here's our scatter plot. Does it have a pattern where it's increasing all the time, consistently, or falling down? Nope, neither of those. Is there some kind of a pattern, a shape? I don't see a pattern or shape. It looks like there's just no pattern at all between the distance traveled and the number of tardies. So I'm going to go look at the answer choices for something that tells me about no correlation, because that's the one pattern that I'm seeing in this. There's no correlation. A student who travels 1.5 miles to get to school will be tardy 9 times. Let's see. That doesn't sound like it talks about no correlation, but let's just check. At 1.5 miles, will be tardy 9 times. That doesn't really fit any kind of pattern that we have here. So we're going to go with no. B, a student who travels more than 3 miles. So a student who, here's 2 miles, here's 2.5 miles. 3 miles is over here. So a student who travels more than 3 miles will be tardy at least 7 times. I don't see how we can make that decision. Again, we're saying there's no correlation. C, there is no correlation. Perfect, here we go. There's no correlation between the distance a student travels and the number of times a student will be tardy. So C is the answer we're looking for. There's no correlation, that's what we said. There's also D. There is a nonlinear correlation, which is similar to undefined. It means that there is a correlation, but it's not a line between the distance a student travels and the number of times the student's tardy. Not true. The one we wanted was no correlation, so the answer's choice correct is C.